Scuderia Ferrari, the history, the glory, the inevitable disappointment. Well, no more. Fred Vasseur has vowed that the 2024 season will be different. The team in red will no longer be the laughingstock of the grid, and the Ferrari Phoenix will finally rise from the ashes of the once great team. So, what do the Scuderia actually have planned for 2024? And will it actually work? I don't think we can expect miracles. I still think it's going to be very difficult for Ferrari to catch Red Bull before the major engine changes that come in 2026. But if Ferrari are to overcome Mercedes, Aston Martin, or McLaren, the gamble on a brand new car design for the 2024 season must be absolutely spot on. We have to remember that Ferrari finished in second place in 2022. They got 12 pole positions. They won 4 Grand Prix that year. Leclerc and Sainz even had an average finishing position of third and fourth respectively. It just looked incredibly positive that this new era of Formula One was also going to be a new era of Ferrari. Like, if they didn't have the engine and reliability problems they had over the course of the season, it looked like it was going to be really competitive. And that's why this year we expected 2023 to be quite a big step forward for Ferrari, and there were high hopes that they would be really competitive with the Red Bull car. I remember Fred Vasseur saying at the beginning of the season he was very optimistic about what the team had done over the winter break and how competitive their Ferrari car was going to be. But as the season has progressed, it seems like the Ferrari engineers have finally noticed what Mercedes and Aston Martin and McLaren noticed a little while ago, is that Red Bull got the concept right, because Ferrari's initial aerodynamic concept for this rules era, although much more successful initially, was fundamentally flawed, and it felt like the foundations that they were building off of was quite unstable. So we've seen the likes of Aston Martin, McLaren, Mercedes all pivoting their core design more towards a Red Bull style car, and Ferrari have noticed that they need to follow suit, because not only will they fall behind Red Bull, but they'll continue to fall further behind other teams in that way as well. I mean, Carlos Sainz said the capacity for development of the Red Bull direction is a lot higher. You have to remember that coming 5th or 6th in the constructor standings at Ferrari is incredibly embarrassing for them. They further become the team that is picked on for the fact that they're putting so much money into this and they're not reaching their potential. And of course, you can blame pit stops and strategy and crashes along the way too, but they all come from the fact that there's this pressure and panic to perform when the car isn't quite there. So what they're doing, whilst the team have tried to stay in the battle for 2023, they've now decided to scrap that off completely and will focus on 2024. And actually, any new parts brought to this year's car will have next year in mind. Ferrari have basically promised a completely new redesign, a completely new car that is not based on anything that we've seen from them in 2022 or 2023, but a complete redesign to change their foundations in the hopes of building higher in the future. And I mean, we've already seen one big team do this so far this season. We've seen Mercedes completely scrap their core aerodynamic concept. I think we'll remember zero pods for the rest of our lives, but Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff admitted that Mercedes would have designed a completely new car midway through the season had they been able to, but unfortunately the constraints of the cost cap mean that they couldn't. And Ferrari are now seeing this in a very similar way. So although Mercedes through the season have made changes, a lot of what they're doing is actually focused on next year's car instead. And Ferrari are going to be using that same philosophy, a similar approach for the next of this season, using what is left of this year's cost cap, effectively allowing them to spend more on next year's car whilst disguising it as upgrades for this year, in particular side pods, of course, the front of the floor, a gearbox casing, and a modified rear suspension to allow the car to actually hold the rear end at a more desirable height more often, which has been Ferrari's downfall a lot this season whilst cornering and therefore scrubbing the tyres a lot as well. And we know that they just haven't been able to hold on to their tyres over the course of this year, and that's been the main downfall of Ferrari. So this should obviously make the car better now, but also give the car a structure that doesn't limit its development in the future. Now, they obviously need to be careful. We don't just want to see a Red Bull. They can't just completely copy the Red Bull's design. Fine, they need to find a similar aerodynamic structure, but they still need to get the best out of the Ferrari power unit, the Ferrari gearbox, and optimize to their strengths as a team. I think the main thing to take away from this, for me anyway, is at least they've realized that just because they're a big team doesn't mean they always get things right. I think Aston Martin have been the real trendsetters here, and I think the fact that Aston Martin are an up-and-coming team really played into their favor at the beginning of the season, because they weren't clouded by the pride and ego that comes with success that maybe Mercedes and Ferrari have. I mean, Mercedes have been completely humbled this season. The fact that they started the season with the zero pod again, I think that comes from the fact that Brazil 2022, that George Russell win actually played against them because they were like, oh, maybe this zero pod can work. And then we saw 5-6 races into the season, they completely scrapped that design. And if they'd have done that 6 months earlier, I think they'd be a lot further down the road than they are. And I think Ferrari now seem to have accepted it too. They did get it wrong. The Red Bull way is the way to go forward. The problem that Ferrari now have, and the thing that we can't know, is how deeply Ferrari really understands its problems, because it's not simply following the Red Bull direction that is going to make them constructors-worthy champions. And as I said at the start, I think even with this change, I'm uncertain if the Ferrari team are going to be able to catch the Red Bull, but I am really excited to see if Ferrari can keep pace with Mercedes, Aston Martin, McLaren, maybe even Williams if they jump into there with Alex Albon over and over again. But I'd love to know your thoughts, actually. Where do you think Ferrari will come in the 2024 standings? Is this new core concept going to be able to propel them to first or second in the championship all over again? Or the fact that they've waited this little bit too long, are they still going to be behind Mercedes or Aston Martin or McLaren? I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, I've also put together this video here which looks at your hottest takes from the Monza Grand Prix. So click that link and I'll see you over there.